Hi again, welcome to the Garage. I'm Pierre. This is going to be the last episode about the screw jacks here. Philippe calls it his little classy black dress treatment. It was a lot of trouble to make it, just increased the amount of work to do those stands, but they look amazing. I gotta admit we'll be also getting ready for shipping. I was very amazed how many people emailed me about reserving a set of those, and even a couple of you just left a comment and say, hey, I want one. But I won't commit to a price or any engagements about shipping those until we get everything final. We're still waiting for the boxes, the wooden boxes, to store them in and ship them in. So when we get these final numbers, which the postal and size and weight, I'll be putting an announcement in the future video, very future video, I hope, and I'll be giving you all the details. So the ones that reserve first, and I'll give you priority for sure. That's one thing certain. Also, thanks to all of you that ordered their tap followers. I mean, sorry, there's no more. This is mine, and keeping one at least. So a big thank you for the encouragement, for you being behind us and supporting us. So let's go with the serious stuff.
So anyways, yeah, this is a short video.
No, it's not a short video. It's two short videos.
Okay, two short videos, but...
And maybe about the videos, just take notes that I'll give you techniques to achieve like internal, external, getting it right after just a few cuts, and not just by sneaking in. You do take into account the spring from the boring bars. And
it works.
That it's as surprising as it can be. I'm taking 40 thousandths cuts with that little Banggood boring bar and the Banggood inserts, and it comes within less than a thousandth difference in a few shots.
Yeah.
And I'm taking 13 thousandths advance on wrist and 40 thousandths on the diameter for the removal. It's pretty in that kind of steel. I mean, it's something else. I mean, if you go in the cold roll steel, it's something, but if you go into that type of steel, it's something else. Also, by making the bigger cuts, you achieve better finish.
Yeah. It was a good school for me, because it's the first time I worked with something this tough and this hard, and I did apply what Pierre was saying, and yeah, you get within half a thou sometimes. Just you're always within a thou or better, and it works. It takes a bit of a leap of faith, and it works.
No, but just the best thing you do is you get yourself a few pieces of scrap in practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the sexy part that Philippe calls the little red dress, the little decoration on this. By the way, this is not my favorite color though, but you gotta admit that looks nice. But I'll be using I'll be using a high-speed steel little tool I made, and by the way, if you want to count, there's 16 of those to help me get the things done. I wrote them down there. One other way to do this is to start the first one and reset the DRO at 0 every time and add 75 thousandths. But the problem, if you do that 16 times, if you do ever some errors on the along the way, you'll be ending up with I would say a pretty big error factor at the end. So you better just 0 here, start at the known value there, and just get along with the incremental value every time. And also there, that will maybe make your error like let's say half a thousand or something. Okay, let's start doing this. That's pretty good. So first one is at 290 thousandths. So we're 290 thousandths. A little bit too much. And as long as I'm within 5/10, a half a thousandth of an inch, I'm pretty well fine with that. So let's make this. We'll be turning at 375 RPMs. You don't want to turn too fast. This is, like I say, pretty tough steel. Let's get that going. I'll be zeroing on this. They need to be 40,000 deep, about 1 millimeter. Okay, as soon as I touch, I'll be putting a 0 there, and let's get at it. 42 thousandths. Next reading 375. Sorry, 365. Let's not make the mistake because that will show, say, 3/10 of a thousand. That's good. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with this. There's 15 more to do. Little deburring. There you go. I was gonna forget this end a little bit, just very lightly. It's good. Finish this up. Never go far inside with your fingers. If it starts twisting, I guess just a finger goes. There you go, this is nice, perfect. Let's line this up. Soon as you... Okay, this is good enough. Z0, 1 inch, 750. I'll be leaving about 10 thousandths there to do a proper facing. Okay, let's do the parting off this. This is a pretty smoky operation. Hand heating. Oop. When the sound changes, you know you're near the end. And one good way of getting that piece of a sharp thing there out. Just a little plier like this. Come on, get out of there. Magnetized pliers. Okay, 1 inch, 765. 64. Anyway, for a within 1,000 we're okay. So I know I'm going to be touching right there, and after I touch I know I can remove 13 thousandths. I'll be running this fast speed so we get a nicer surface. So let's touch. I'll be touching a little bit over there. Entering this into the DRO and taking 14 thousandths. That's it. We naturally want to make a little chamfer on this. There we go. Chamfering a little bit. Very light, just enough to cut the edge on this. Okay, let's make a chamfer on this. I see lots of guys making chamfers after they do the threading. The inconvenient after doing the threading is the fact that the threading is not make an even surface there, and it will make the chamfering tool kind of wobble a lot. So best way before you do the threading, and you make your chamfer maybe 15-20 thousandths wider than the actual thread will be, so they will do the entry and a final. There you go. I think that should be about. Yep, we're pretty close from what we need. See, the chamfer looks big now, but after you you get the tap in there, you see that it will look pretty good. I'm going to be power tapping. The speed is 190 RPMs. I could be tapping a little bit faster, but that's not really required. There we go. I hear by the sound that it's right through what the zone needs to be tapped. Let's back this up. I'm very lightly pulling on it. There we go. Okay, this is shortly what I mean by making the chamfer before we do the tap. See, the chamfer is going to be very symmetrical all the way around there, because it's not being pushed by an uneven surface there by the caused by the entry of the tap itself, and being made a little bit bigger than the screw size. It will make a very even and nice entry for it. Look at the size of the entry there. It looks good, and it's very clean also. Saves you from lots of cleanup. This is one part done. We're now making the small extensions that go under the jack stands. These are 3/4 of an inch, 19 millimeters, and there's another series that's done that is 25 millimeters, so 1 inch. Same thing as before. I'm using this kind of a, maybe call it a gun drill type. It's got a spaded insert at the end. Running 225. This is meant to be used with coolant, but I'm not equipped with coolant on the lathe, so let's make it so it doesn't wobble, because you start them, and if you see that you're let's say because of the length over here, it might just want to wobble a little bit when it starts off. So let's get the lathe post just touching it. Okay, I think that should be about it. And I'm pushing on it. There's no entry hole in this. It's just, see how stable the end is. It makes its way. Because sometimes there's a little pip at the end there, and it's really going to throw it off a little bit. Okay, let's put a little bit of oil at least. I don't have coolant, but I can supply a little bit of oil. There you go. Stable entry until the whole spade is in there. This is almost 700 thousandths of an inch. More like 720 thousandths of an inch. Not very far from 3/4 of an inch. Going in very nicely. Now it's set. We don't need this anymore. Okay, I'm going to be pushing. Get a nice colored chip just before it gets colored. That's going to be my maximum speed. See that this type of drill is really doing a good job on the evacuating the chips. The chips are small. Oops. Chips are starting to color up. Slow down a little bit. Five inches, 127, almost 128 millimeters. Not bad. Yeah, all the tools are lined up for the next operation, ready. Some parting, some chamfering, boring, and outside turning. Let's get at it. Last parts. Yes. There you go. 718 metric. 18, about 18 millimeters. We need to reach 800 thousandths. At this moment, I'll, in order to spare you some of the repetitive part on making those extensions, there's one at 3/4 of an inch, 90 millimeters. The other one is 1 inch. It's 25.4 millimeters. The inside boring, just it's demonstrated into the previous video how to get there. Compensate for the flex into the boring bar and making pretty accurate, internal bores and minimal cuts, and you don't even have to sneak in or just anything like that, or just spring passes or whatever. Just like I say, go see the previous video. Need any explanations? The comment section is right there. The last part will be showing that's the shoulders that there is on top. It stops the extensions to slip from under the screw jack itself or the other extensions where they're piled up. But that's about what we're doing right at this moment. Okay, we're down an inch down there. This is the length. It's got to be done. This one's 3/4, but the inch gets there, and we got that low shoulder there. That's an extra 75 thousandths of an inch. So we're doing this first, and then we'll be doing the parting right after that. 30. That's it. We'll move 75 thousandths of an inch that direction. I'll give it 5 thousandths there to allow for parting, not parting, but just facing the other part. So before we go any further, let's make the chamfer right there. It's going to be clean. Okay, this is so much easier to do now. This also. If you're trying to do those ops after the part is off, it's harder to accomplish. Just the cleaning up there. This part here. very light cleaning up on the top. Okay, final parting. I got 5 thousandths extra that I'll get for cleaning up the top of this. Sound's changing, so I don't want near the cutout point. Finish this up. Nice part. Hot a little bit, but there you go. We got this part here that you see in the screen. It needs to become a part like this with a nice V groove in there.
Yep.
So Philippe did it at his place, and what he did, he used it flat, V-block, about the same kind of setup that we got here, but he used it flat, and he used it 45, let's say 90 degree end mill at 45 degrees. So we didn't have to use the device just tilted like this. So what I did, yeah, I know, sounds like no cleanup. Did the fairly good square, lined up the vise on the smaller vise on the big vise. There's a V block here.
Okay.
Show. Hey, you do the showing for it. Hey, there's a little
hand model.
there's a little marshmallow there that you can talk into. Recap of what's the setup here. There's the parallel there. The bar sits on it. There's a V block there to squeeze on more than two surfaces. And carbide end mill. Oh, thank you, Dennis Nolan from Niagara Cutter. This been cutting.
Is it this one?
Little pile there.
Yeah.
And this is the box of the cutter.
Yeah.
Nice end mill, carbide, solid carbide.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's make it go. There you go.
One pass. Doing this in one pass. Easy going. It's giving a really nice finish.
We're turning 1500 RPMs.
And we're power feeding and just going to bring it back on a spring pass just for the finish.
Second option is how it can be done.
Yep. More than one way to skin a cat.
More than one way to machine apart. There you go. That's it.
And we change.
Next. Oh, those little slivers are. Well, I'm gonna pass Philippe to the demagnetizer when he gets out of here.
No, start with the magnet and then the demagnetizer. I want these things out of me. We are gathered here today because Pierre's behind.
That's a nice joke. funny cuckoo.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure we do.
Okay.
I think we'll put that into the second video.
Okay. Bye.
Again?
I know. I'm not that stupid. Let's buy.
Shit. Phil?
No, wait.
Got an itchy...
Yeah, you can't show that. You get barred by YouTube. It's offensive.
It's offensive?
Well, somebody's going to say it's offensive, and then you're going to get kicked off YouTube.
Shit. Well, that doesn't really work it.